Hi and welcome to my channel. So this is a very unfortunate incident and more of like breaking news because hundreds of carers in the UK that moved from overseas have unfortunately received deportation letters from the Home Office. I say that this is very unfortunate because it is no fault of their own. Normally I would be here saying you need to do things the right way, you need to go through the due process, but these people didn't do anything wrong. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you what happens, what the circumstances are, and how you can also safeguard yourself, whether you're already in the UK now or you're still planning to move to the UK on a visa, so that you're aware. Because this incident has literally just made me to reflect on some of the challenges that we have as overseas workers, which if you've never been on visa sponsorship in the UK, it is very difficult to empathize with this situation, to understand the stress that comes with not knowing whether you're going to be here the next day, whether your kids are going to be going to school the next day, what's going to be happening to you and all of that. So I'll explain all of what's happened and what you need to do, obviously, in this video. So if you're new to my channel, you're welcome. If you haven't joined this family, take this opportunity now to hit the subscribe button so that you're the first person to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here, because I'm on a mission to make sure that you're informed about the best opportunities in the UK, to move as well as to progress with your career in this amazing country. So what are the circumstances that happen to these carers? So, and by the way, in case you're watching this and you're not aware, when anything happens with you in the UK, if you're on visa sponsorship, you're going to get a letter from the Home Office, and the letter normally gives you 60 days in order to find another visa sponsorship job, and switch to them, or you need to leave the UK. So it's more like a sort of deportation letter where they're saying, we're giving you 6 months, it would be nice if it was 6 months. We're giving you 60 days of time to find this. It is very challenging in the best of times to find a job in that time. More so when you're very stressed, it's even more challenging. Oh, also, I have a newsletter, by the way. I've dropped a link in the comment section below where I share information such as this directly to your inbox, free visa sponsorship opportunities to move to the UK or to switch your visa if you're already in this beautiful country, work from home jobs that you can do, ways that you can supplement your income, as well as career progression opportunities. The reason why I go on about these UK opportunities is because I also started my own UK journey as a carer in a nursing home. I've done domiciliary care, I've done living care, I've done support work, I've done all sorts of carer jobs before I thought to myself, look, I cannot carry on with this. I was earning £16,000 per year at the time. So you think the pay is bad now? It was a lot worse when I started. It was £16,000 per year working full time. So I then studied nursing. I've gone on to do 2 apprenticeships, and now I work as an advanced nurse practitioner, which is the most senior clinical nursing position. And that's why I take time to bring these opportunities to you, to insist that you need to do things the proper way. The proper way is going to take time, it's going to take longer, it's going to take patience, persistence, but it is well worth it in the end. So my newsletter is completely free. It won't take you 20 seconds to join. You're also going to find my contact details on there. So it's my WhatsApp number as well as my email address. If you need to get in contact with me, then do feel free to do so. I also know that there are certain things that you may feel uncomfortable to put them in the comment section. Again, you can message me privately because I'm very familiar with dealing with these challenges that we encounter in the UK, and I'm all about finding solutions to the things that have happened. If something goes wrong, it has already gone wrong. All we can do is to find solutions. So what happened to these carers? So these carers moved to the UK as any other person through this company, and then the company has now gone into administration. So what does it mean when a company goes into administration? Which means they have decided to close the business. They have decided to close the company. So this has left hundreds and hundreds of overseas carers that they recruited in limbo, basically. So they've got no employer. Obviously, if you're closing your company and you've got people that you've sponsored from overseas, you need to tell the Home Office that you're closing your business for whatever reason. And then the Home Office will then write to the people that you have sponsored and say to them, we're giving you 60 days of leave to remain in the UK. You need to find another employer within these 60 days. Otherwise, you need to leave the UK. So that's basically what has happened to these people. This massive company that does a lot of overseas recruitment. They've got, they had loads of contracts in different parts of the UK, and there are hundreds of you that have been affected. And so, it is really sad. It's such a shame. Families involved and all of that. Some people have been able to find jobs. Majority of people haven't found jobs yet. But obviously, if you're watching this and I'm not aware of you and you're part of this situation, I do empathize with you. And all you can do is make sure that your CV is really good. Make sure that, there are no typing errors. There's a lot, obviously, I've done lots of videos on here on how to do CVs and all of that. Also, by the way, I do have a private career coaching program where I offer personalized, tailored, individualized guidance. If you're interested, you can check the description box below or the about section of this channel, career progression in the UK, moving into nursing, moving to the NHS, applying for apprenticeships and all of that. And this is also one of the reasons why what made me reflect about this situation and what has prompted me really to share this with you is because I was just thinking about the impact that it has with regards to the employer that you choose to have in the UK. The employer you have in the UK is going to have the biggest impact on you, your mental health, the fact that you're going to enjoy this country or not, the fact that you will think that your journey was worthwhile or not is going to depend on the employer that you have. And that's why I go on here about the NHS, get jobs with the NHS. The NHS is the only sure, safe, employer that if you have, you can sleep and settle and say, look, I have got a job in the UK. If you have a job with any private company, I'm not saying private companies are not good. They're obviously amazing. They've got the advantages. But what I mean is when it comes to security, career progression, and everything else, it's only the NHS that will offer that to you when you're on visa sponsorship. So it is something that you need to think very carefully when you're making your choices. You need to really be on top of your game. It may be very challenging getting jobs with the NHS if you don't understand how the system works, the supporting information. It's a complex process, but it is worth the extra effort that you're going to put in to get a job with the NHS. So if you're currently in that situation where you're stuck, your employer doesn't have hours for you, for example, which is a lot worse, or you're maybe in a care home with a private company with an agency, they're calling you to come to work, just on the day. You don't have a timetable, you don't know what you're doing tomorrow, you've got no life, you can't even plan anything. You need to try and get a job with the NHS. If you're part of my private coaching program, you know how I go on and on about this. It is going to take longer to get the job, but it is really worth it because it is very stressful when you're on visa sponsorship and you're not sure whether you're going to be in this country tomorrow. It is very stressful. And because when you're coming from home, many of us don't have anything to go back to. That is the truth. Because you've already given up, you've left your job. People that had businesses, that have sold the businesses, people that were entrepreneurs, successful people, have given up all of that to come to this country. So you need to make it work here. And it is worth putting that effort. You may not realize now, but later on, you're going to reap the fruits of your labor. Because none of us is going to suffer like this in vain. I keep saying this. It's one of those things where I'm like, no, when you put in your effort, you're going to reap the fruits of your labor. So do not despair if you're in this situation or in this position. Look for jobs, find those companies that are legit, and make sure that you're doing your research really well. Because the truth is that many companies online are not real. Many are not real. Many vacancies you see online with visa sponsorship jobs are not real. Few of them are real, from legit employers. Most of them are not. So you need to be very, very careful so you don't end up in this situation. Like I say, it's been very unfortunate for these carers because it's not like they did anything wrong. It's just that the company has decided to, that whatever has happened, it's difficult to know the specific circumstances that they have been faced with, but they decided to close the company, close the business. And so this has led to this really, really unfortunate position for these carers. Because say some have been fortunate to find jobs, with other employers, but majority are still stranded in the UK with families. They've got no money coming in, and they've got 60 days, obviously, to either find another sponsor or to leave the UK, which is very stressful, very unexpected for them. And so, yeah, it's very sad. It's really, really sad. Do check out videos that I've done here about different opportunities with the NHS, apprenticeship opportunities that you can apply for, how to do your CV, what is needed. If you're part of my coaching program, we're going to talk more about this during our live session tomorrow from 8:30 p.m. UK time, so that we go through those employers, those companies that are good for you to apply, so that when you're applying for those visa sponsorship jobs, you know that there is a certain level of security that you're going to have, so that you and your family are not left stranded, without without where to go, without where to live. You know, the UK is expensive. You know, how does one live without a job? It's very, very challenging. So, like I say, I empathize with these colleagues, and I hope that, you know, everybody can find a job as quickly as possible. And for everyone else that is looking for jobs, obviously, if you've got any questions, by the way, leave them in the comment section below. If you need to contact me privately, like I said, do check out my newsletter. I've dropped a link in the comment section below. It's got my contact details on there, so that if I've got any advice, obviously I'm not an immigration lawyer or anything. What I do is support with getting the jobs, you know, what you need for the jobs, the interview, the CVs, and all of that. That's what I'm really, really good at. So again, you know, check out this other video that I've linked up here with more opportunities in the UK, more ideas, and more things that you can pursue in order for you to be able to achieve your goals in this country. And so do share this, by the way, with your friends and loved ones so they're aware, and check this out here.